Hey there, friends. Thanks for checking in. It is often said, in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. And that's why it's only fitting to compare Springfield Armory's best full-size double-stack 9mm handguns. Here we have the 1911 DS Prodigy. When this was launched in September of 2022, the internet was lit up on fire. People ran to get this. It's affordably priced. It is an incredible shooter. It feels great in the hand and has features that many shooters find advantageous. This is a newer model in this comparison, but it is also very familiar because a lot of people are happy with their DS Prodigy. But over here we've got the Springfield Armory XDM Elite OSP with a 5.28 threaded barrel. The XDM Elite models have been around for a while, but I consider this the best one. It's a double stack, very nice capacity. We're going to talk about that, but this is in flat dark earth. And if you love the XDM models, you certainly love the Elite models, and you will really love this one. I consider this the best of its class. Let's start with the DS Prodigy. 1911 fans love this thing. I love this thing. It is beautiful with an all Cerakoted black frame and slide. It is good looking, and I love this polymer wrapped grip. It has a gritty texture to it, but if you holster it and you have it on your hip and it rubs against your skin, it won't be so overwhelming. When you grip it, it just feels so nice. But the DS stands for double stack, and this is what we're talking about. It comes with a 20-round magazine and a flat base plate 17-round magazine. And what is also interesting is that 26-round mags are available for the DS Prodigy. My favorite is the 20-round magazine. I think it looks cool the way it hangs down a little bit, but when you grip this thing, it is amazing. OSP, although they don't include that in the name, optical sight pistol, and here we have a Hex Dragonfly 3.5 MOA red dot. I like the forward serrations here, and we'll show clear, and we'll drop that mag, but the forward serrations are nice for the press checks. Light spring weight there. See, it takes very little effort to do that. And a full 5-slot Picatinny rail to add a light or laser. Do people use lasers much anymore? I don't seem to notice, but they certainly enjoy having a light. It has an ambidextrous thumb safety. All right, we'll notice that, making it left-handed friendly as far as that goes. And then the trigger is really nice. We're looking at right around 4 pounds with that 1911 reset that is so incredible. It keeps shooters on target. There's no doubt about that. I think it looks cool. It performs incredibly well. Now, another advantage here is that this rear sight is tall to co-witness with the red dot, and then you have a fiber optic front sight. So it really helps when sighting the red dot in. You get a good feel for it, or where you're going to hit at the range, and then you take it there and make little tweaks when you need to. A 5-inch bull barrel, so that keeps the recoil to a minimum. This, as a whole, does not have much recoil. It's an all steel frame, very nice shooting, 1911 in 9mm. It also has an extended magazine release. If you could see that there, maybe this side, magazine release, nice easy reach. And then the MSRP on this is certainly advantageous. You're looking at, with the red dot included, $1,699. You just don't see that with this type of pattern, 1911 in 9mm. You don't see that at all. You see much more expensive models out there. So Springfield priced it right, they produced it right, and the DS Prodigy is keeping people on target and ringing steel all day long. But now we have a Springfield XDM Elite OSP with a 5.2-inch threaded barrel. Flat dark earth. The slide is Cerakoted flat dark earth. I think this thing looks and feels incredible. It also has a Hex Dragonfly red dot, as I mentioned with the Prodigy, 3.5 MOA. So that makes for a nice comparison. We're using the same optic on each of the pistols. The XDM models are ambidextrous. So here we have the magazine release, on both sides, as well as the slide stop. So lefties who often feel overlooked, and they do, should not feel that way with these models right here. Now, one thing that is super cool, and you just don't see this too often, it ships with two 22 round magazines. And that is high capacity, but on their site, a 35 round magazine is also available. So with the Prodigy, you have a 26 round mag available, and with the XDM Elite, you have a 35 round magazine that's available. That's really something, I have to tell you. But it looks cool. It has a 3-slot pick rail there. The forward serrations mimic the rear serrations, and much like the Prodigy, it has tall rear sights and a tall front sight, so you can align that red dot. It helps with the sight-in process. Those who co-witness can do that all day long with both of these models, which I think is a nice touch. They're all metal, by the way, so that's nice. We know with the XD and XDM models, it has a grip safety. It forces a high grip on the pistol, and that's how you should grip it anyways. I mean, that's the way you do it. You want a nice high grip to gain as much control as possible. I like the grip texturing here. It does come with a couple additional back straps. And this is a flared mag well. Check that out. Nice, quick mag changes. Competitors will certainly dig it. It is removable, but I really think it's cool the way that mag sits in there with that flared mag well. I don't see a downside to that. It is pretty cool the way that works. It also has a flat trigger. Springfield calls this a meta trigger, match enhanced trigger assembly. And I love this trigger. Both of these handguns fire incredibly well, but we'll take a look at the trigger. It does have a safety in there. All right, flat trigger, breaks right at 4.5 pounds with the reset right there. Very short reset. Not as short as the 1911, the DS Prodigy, but a very short reset. And the MSRP is within the working man's budget, $733 MSRP for the XDM Elite OSP with the threaded barrel. Additional features include a cocked striker. Right now it's not cocked, but on the back of the slide plate is a silver button that pops out when the striker is cocked, and we already showed clear when it's not. That won't be there, so that's something to consider. And then here we have a raised bar for a loaded chamber indicator. And once again, it comes with additional back straps and higher cap mags available. The 5.28 threaded barrel is nice to run a suppressor, and you can do that especially because you have suppressor height sights that also serve as co-witness sights to the red dot, so they're multi-useful, if that's even a word. But it looks cool. It shoots incredibly well. Both of these shoot incredibly well. I hope I'm demonstrating that with my range footage. Let's compare these two handguns. I came up with 11 categories, starting with the features, working their way down to the shooting impressions. The grip. I love the grip that the Prodigy has. This polymer wrap is so nice. I think the texturing feels great. I don't think it would matter if your hands are wet or sweaty or anything like that. You'd still get a great grip on the gun. It's a little bit wider than the XDM. You can see right there. This has very nice texturing, and you could add back straps, but I have fairly large hands, so the width of the grip does not bother me at all. It feels great. Someone with smaller hands may choose the XDM Elite, but I'm going with the Prodigy. Next are the sights. To me, this is a draw. Both have tall rear sights, and fairly tall on the Prodigy, very tall with the XDM Elite. I find it a draw because both can co-witness with the red dot. Both are OSP models. Both have red dots, so that is not an issue to me. It's a tie. In terms of the barrel, here we have some things to consider. This has a threaded barrel. As I mentioned, 5.28 inches. If you run suppressed, you choose the XDM Elite all day long. And I understand why. But I don't currently do that, and this has the bull barrel. So I'm going with the Prodigy because that 5-inch bull barrel is very nice. In terms of the mags, here we have a 20 round mag. Here we have a 22 round mag. Now, which one would you choose? And then the additional mags that are available, 26, 35. So I think that one speaks for itself. You just have to go with the XDM with the mag capacity. Even though the Prodigy has incredible capacity, you just have to call it for what it is. In terms of the features, I don't know that there's another handgun out there with more features than the XDM. But having said that, for a 9mm 1911, this thing is loaded with features. So I'm going to have to call that one a draw as well, because I don't know what else you could possibly do to make this any better. I think it's fine the way it is, and if they did add more features, I don't know that I would use them. And then this next one's going to be a draw too, because we're going to talk about reliability, one of the most important issues in terms of these guns. Like, are they reliable? Well, I'm calling it a draw in advance because every round that I've fired through the XDM Elite OSP and the DS Prodigy has fed, fired, ejected just fine. I've never had a hang up yet. Various ammos didn't make a difference either, so I can't honestly say one is better than the other at this point. In terms of aesthetics, both are beautiful guns. Will you agree with that? They're both beautiful guns, but I'm a 1911 guy. I love the way this looks and feels and shoots, but in this case, this hurts. I'm going with the XDM. The flat dark earth wins me over. Plus, I love the way that mag is seated with the flared mag well. I think it looks beautiful, and with this barrel sticking out of the slide, I think it is just it has a look that you just don't see too often, and I love the way it looks with the XDM Elite OSP. The trigger. The Meta trigger is amazing. I love what Springfield did with that. They did a phenomenal job creating that flat face trigger with the short reset. But as I mentioned, I'm a 1911 guy. I have to go with the Prodigy. How can you deny a 1911 trigger like that? And the short reset, it would be wrong for me to choose anything because it wouldn't be honest. The slide serrations, they're a bit different. All right, the Prodigy's a little deeper cut. Maybe this will give you a better look. It's a little deeper cut, but to me, there is no great difference. You can get a good charge on the gun, whether it's with the Prodigy or the XDM Elite, so I'm calling that a draw. In terms of disassembly, well, this one kind of speaks for itself. The XDM Elite has a simple disassemble. You can perform a disassembly and a reassembly in less than a minute. I have no problem with 1911s, but this has a 2-piece guide rod. It adds an additional step. I actually love disassembling a 1911, but that additional step could delay the process a bit, so therefore I'm going with the XDM Elite. Now let's talk about the most important one, the shooting impressions. Both of these shoot great. I hope I demonstrated that well with the video. But I just cannot get over a 1911 when it comes to accuracy, target acquisition, smoothness, the trigger. I just can't choose anything over it. So I'm going with the 1911 DS Prodigy. This shoots like a dream. And I love everything about this handgun. I mean, I'm very honored to do this comparison. But the 1911 DS Prodigy is where it's at in my eyes for shooting impressions. Well, that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this comparison. I hope you appreciate these two guns for what they are. Excellent double stack 9mm full-size handguns that certainly get the job done, and personally, I love them. If you like videos like this, please subscribe and share. I always appreciate thumbs up button. Thanks for watching, and you guys be safe.